Trump got heavily involved here in Texas. Primaries that just went on, the primary runoffs that just happened. He endorsed David Covey against Speaker Phelan and a number of other races. Covey fell short, or Phelan won it, however you want to look at it. How is that playing out in the House, and what's going to happen in the upcoming session related to the Speaker?
Are a lot of moving parts, even as we speak. But I think when you look at the massacre that happened to incumbents, whether, with the help from bad decision making on the part of House leadership, and Abbott really digging in on school choice and going after the members who are just continued to refuse to do what's best for Texas kids. You saw the grassroots really rise up and really have unprecedented losses for incumbents. It's hard to beat incumbents, and a bunch of them lost. So the general won, though, right? So it's like you got the Speaker made it, but a lot of his troops died. And so I think when you look at the kind of Phelan has said this in the past, that his number one job is to protect the membership, to allow them to kind of vote their districts and protect them and make sure that they come back. That did not happen. So if that's what the job performance is being based on, I think it's going to be hard for him to, he is the incumbent, and there has been some good conservative legislation passed, under his rule, but there are a lot of other people who are, I think, capable of being principled conservatives, and it might be time for a new face at the helm. So we'll see how that plays out over the next few weeks. I will say it's likely the decision, of what really happens doesn't technically. I mean, according to the Republican caucus bylaws, Republicans elect the Speaker within the caucus. That is to avoid, what happened in the Strauss era, where you had the entire Democrat caucus join with 11 Republicans to elect technically a Republican Speaker, but really who was controlled by Democrats. I think that you're heading in that same. I think you're heading in that same direction now, and I think that's a very difficult talking point to go back to the grassroots with, especially for these members who have just been through brutal primaries. I mean, a lot of them are at the end of their political rope. They don't have any more political capacity to spend on a sinking ship. So we'll see. I'm sure I'm going to be get in trouble for kind of speaking my mind here, but I mean, it just is what it is. It's not for or against any person or thing, but like, this is politics. This is the reality. A lot of his biggest lieutenants did not return. There's a void to be filled, and are people willing to sign up for the same thing, or are there going to be other people? And there are already other people who have stepped up. I mean, you see Tom Oliverson stepping in, already announcing even before the primaries. Shelby Slauson announced yesterday. It would not surprise me if we had a couple of other names pop up. But there's some divisions. There's some real true divisions, both on policy and on politics, that are forming on the Republican side of the aisle.
I appreciate your honesty, because I feel like that's what people, if anything, in my opinion, I think that's what this primary was about, was people wanting that honesty about the state of things. And they feel like they've not gotten that. And it's just kind of been, I don't know, just a lack of transparency about what's going on and how people feel. And so I think it's important. And it's like, nothing you're saying is it personal? It's just fact. Like, it's just how it worked out and how it went down. And so, but you say a number of names. Is one of those names may be Ellen Troxclair?
Oh, no, I'm quite good. Michael will tell you that I'm a policy person at heart, and I'm willing to be a team player, but my happy place is like in the weeds of school choice, or tax policy and lowering property taxes, or my new mission is to ban phones in schools. So I want to see policy across the line. I have a young family and a business, and I don't, politics or power in politics is not my identity. So I'm gonna continue to focus on on making policy. We have gotten so off track. in personalities and specific personalities of this person's good or bad, this person's good or bad. And we've really gotten away from what defines you as a Republican or as a conservative is supposed to be how you feel about individual liberty, how you feel about economics, how you feel about free markets, how you feel about school choice, about all these, and there used to be these bellwether issues, whether or not you were for or against school choice and whether or not you were for or against taxpayer funded lobbying, were two that, that the grassroots wanted to ask on the campaign trail to separate the, true conservatives from the more moderates. And that narrative has been completely lost and really replaced with personality. So my part of what I want to see, and, I am truly, if you're doing this for the right reasons, you're giving up a lot to be there. And so if I'm going to be at the Capitol instead of with my kids or working on my business for, endless hours on end, it has to be because I know my time is being invested in making Texas better. I'm not there to, make friends or be a nice guy. I had somebody on the radio the other day say, I'm just mad at Abbott for going after these people who voted, these good Republicans who voted against school choice because they're such nice guys. And I said, would you vote for me if my campaign slogan was, I'm a nice girl?
Right.
There's nice people who can do a lot of things in the world. You can go be whatever you want, but if you're going to be a state representative, you have to be more than a nice person. You have to be principled and want to get something done. So for me, all of this, the craziness, I've been through 2 brutal primaries. I've been through, a special session and 4 special sessions. I have a district of 5 counties. I'm always on the road traveling. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it because I know I'm going to be an essential part of getting kids out of failing schools and giving them the opportunity to proceed, or some big picture thing that's truly going to change the trajectory of people's lives in Texas.
So is that going to happen this